Good morning, everybody. I'm Cadence Brisby, and today we are here with Mr. Lamb and Henry Eubanks, and he is showing us how to make his famous breakfast burritos. I'll let you take it from here.
Well, thanks for having me, guys, and thanks for joining us. Not a really confusing or hard topic, but what I use, I start with 2 pounds of sausage, and it's we'll get into this later. I use Packwood Locker breakfast sausage. 1 bag of shredded hash browns, 1.5 dozen eggs, some shredded cheese, Lowry's for the potatoes, milk and flour to make our gravy, and then the tortillas. So, you want to get into the details then?
Sure, go ahead.
So, what makes your breakfast burritos so good?
There's 2 secrets to it, and that's it. Two secrets.
Just 2?
2 secrets. Number 1, they got to be made with love. Made with love, copyrighted Selah Hadley, 2019. 2, you have to use Packwood Locker breakfast sausage. That is a must. So I've got 2 pounds of that, crumbled, fried. We are now going to make our roux. I've always wanted to say make our roux. I feel like Guy Fieri. So we're going to make our roux. We're just going to melt about 1.5 sticks of butter in with the 2 pounds of sausage. I feel a little pressure in here because we're in Miss Gowdy's room.
Yeah.
And she's like the queen of cooking. I feel like there's a little pressure on me.
There might be, just a little.
Feel if there's one thing I can do with Miss Gowdy when I can keep up with her in cooking, and that's only breakfast burritos. That's about all I got. So we'll wait till that butter gets melted, and then we'll add some flour to make our roux.
All right.
Breakfast burritos actually started with my oldest son Brady being a finicky eater. So I started making him breakfast burritos for track meets because I told him he had to eat breakfast for a track meet, and he started eating them. Then he was on the 4x8 team, so then I had to make it for every member of the 4x8 team. So we called them 4x8 burritos. And by the end of that spring, I had to make breakfast burritos for the entire group that qualified for state that year. So they've evolved quite a bit.
While we're waiting here, would you go through all the ingredients?
Yeah. So first, it's 2 pounds of sausage, again from Packwood Locker. Gotta be Packwood Locker. 1 bag of shredded hash browns, 1.5 dozen eggs, however many tortillas you want. This usually is about 20 plus tortillas. Some people don't eat the tortillas. It takes not quite 1/2 gallon of milk, about 3/4 cup of flour. I use Lowry's on the potatoes, and then of course pepper in the gravy. And I think that hits about everything. You'll need about 2.5 sticks of butter.
All right.
To fry everything and then make your roux and everything like that. So our butter's melted. I'm going to go ahead and make the roux. And again, you can probably see that measuring is not really that big of a deal. You saw that when I put the Lowry's on the potatoes.
So, can you make this the night before serving?
I do once in a while. In fact, I'll make it the night before and put it in the refrigerator. For my father-in-law, I have to make it and put it in freezer bags so he can keep individual portions frozen. So, yeah, and it's really easy. There are some people that have adapted this recipe to roaster size. I know Joy Eichenbrenner, Latcham, she's the one that's done that really well. Jordan Handy, when she was in high school, she's trained. The good news is Matthew Jones, who will be replacing me next year here, has his certificate as well, so he'll be able to he's trained in breakfast burrito construction.
That was actually one of our questions. Is he required to
Part of the contract. It's part of the contract. Yeah, it's in his Ag Ed contract. He will be working at the state fair, running a greenhouse, and have to make breakfast burritos.
So, I mean, somebody has to do
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
So you can't just
So
avoid the tradition.
the flour and butter and sausage is all mixed up, and I like for that roux to get a little hot. It seems like it gets thicker faster. So I get that a little heated, then I just add, again, an exact amount of milk. You can always add a little more if it's too thick, but usually then I just let this come to a boil and it'll thicken up.
Yep.
When it starts to get warmer and a little thicker, we'll add some pepper. While that's cooking, we're going to take the potatoes out of this pan. And we're going to do that because this is where we're going to put the eggs.
We have another question from the
All right.
audience.
What's the next question?
What is the best prank you pulled on a student during your time here?
Well, so what you're saying is this is going to be on Netflix, and this will be like 10 to 12 episodes because we don't have time to go through the
Oh
pranks.
my God.
I don't know. You know, I've been really blessed to be at Pekin with a lot of good people and a lot of great kids. There's been several pranks. Steve Macbeth, God rest his soul. He's one I remember. He kept leaving his book in my room, and I told him I was going to throw it out in the hallway, and I threw it out in the hallway the first day, and he left it again the next day. So I just hid it and told him I threw it out in the hallway, and Inky Garrels, our custodian, took it. And he must have picked it up. I don't know. So we sent Steve on a chase, and we had this all set up between Inky and all the teachers. He went out to the bus barn, to the elementary, and it took him about a half hour. And he ended up, the book was in my room. So that was one that I won't forget. So we're going to whisk the eggs up here. Put a little more butter in my skillet. Henry, you do me a favor and grab the lid on my skillet there.
Yeah.
And there's only one reason I want that is because a lot of people may wonder what this skillet is. This is a Dash skillet, and I'll put the thing up there. And a lot of people like that. And it's been a really good electric skillet for me. Should have got them to sponsor us.
Yeah.
So this is 18 eggs. Just put them all in.
So, since Mr. Lamb has been here and involved with his indeed world famous breakfast burritos for a number of events here at school and away from school, I always wanted to know, how healthy does this great meal get? How many calories, sugar, salts, total carbohydrates?
That's a great question. Before I start cooking, and I don't think we got this on film, I take all the calories out. So there are actually no calories in the breakfast burritos. So they're really a healthy food. There's some, it's a secret. I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you. I leave the protein and the nutrients in, take all the fat and calories out. So, in a real answer to that question, Henry, no clue. I have no clue what the nutrition is on a breakfast burrito. Again, made with love, and they're really good. That's all that really matters.
Not like it matters, so they're good.
I guess.
So I don't know if you can see here, the gravy's starting to thicken up. It'll thicken up even more when we put the starch from the potatoes in. Eggs are frying up a little bit. Everything's going to end up back in this pan.
Have you ever thought about selling the burritos in, like, the morning before school?
No, I not ever. I can honestly say that I haven't. It's just more of a thing I did. Do a lot for staff potlucks, for celebrations and things like that. I guess I've never Never thought about marketing them before school.
I mean, you
Henry,
make a
what
lot
would
of
you
money.
pay for a burrito?
That's a difficult question.
Okay, well, we'll let you try one here in the end and see what it's worth.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Why did you start making these burritos for the staff and like potlucks and things?
Because every good potluck should start at breakfast. That's kind of an unwritten rule.
That's a good philosophy.
Well, the burrito started off as kind of through track season with my son's senior year, and then I kept making them and kept making them, and then I'd probably have to blame Jordan Handy on it, because Jordan wanted to have them for her graduation. She had a morning graduation, and so we made them in class one time, so she knew how to make a batch this size. Obviously, she's going to need more than that.
Yeah.
She made a big batch, and then we had a potluck at school shortly after that, and I just thought, well, that'd be easy to make.
Yeah.
And we really don't have many breakfast items in the potluck, so I just started making them for our potlucks, and then it's become kind of a tradition now.
Yeah.
I missed the last potluck. I don't know what they did. I was at state FFA convention for that, and they probably canceled it actually.
I mean, how could they have a potluck
Yes,
without you?
exactly.
Have you ever tried making it without the eggs?
One time we were having a weight loss contest in here with this faculty, and I was leading, and I didn't want to be blamed for hampering anybody else's, so I made regular breakfast burritos, and then I made some onions and peppers, and I believe it was lean ham and some egg whites, I think, and made a separate bowl for those that wanted to kind of watch what they were eating. All right, so our gravy is bubbling here. Time to add some pepper. And again, it's a very strict amount. I'm going to go with the opening here. I just kind of cover the top, make it fairly peppery. You can imagine the potatoes. I don't salt this because the potatoes, we use a lot of Lowry's in the potatoes, and that's pretty salty. So I don't salt that. So, as you can tell, this is a little nicer area than my kitchen. My kitchen, I'm going back and forth. Been known to have eggs and potatoes and stuff on the floor.
So we have a question from Matt Geis.
Matt Geis, yes. What's he have to ask?
He wants to know if he can have all the breakfast burritos once you're done.
Absolutely not. No, they're shared. So I started. These didn't have gravy in them when I started, and the reason I put gravy in them is because I got tired of making sausage, okay, and eggs and potatoes, and then mixing them in each tortilla, wrapping them in tin, sprinkling cheese on it, wrapping it in tin foil.
Yeah.
I wanted some sort of gravy. I don't like McDonald's breakfast burritos. I don't like the salsa and stuff in my breakfast stuff. So I thought, gosh, just put some sausage gravy in them. So I called Barb Dyer, asked her how to make sausage gravy. She trained me in sausage gravy, and the rest now is history.
Do you always do your own taste testing, or do you get someone else to do it for you?
It's funny because I don't eat these very much. I really don't. We're just about ready to give birth here, so I'm gonna mix the gravy with the eggs. You don't want to I use a spatula here because you don't want to miss any of that lovely gravy.
That looks beautiful.
It does.
All the taters.
Now, is there a certain method to mixing this all in, or is it just
Yeah,
kind of...
you stir it. Yeah, that's
I
kind of the well, you know, at home because of logistics, and I'm going from, I don't have this big island to work on. I actually, I've got it timed out to where while the eggs are cooking, the potatoes and the sausage gravy would be done. So I just put the potatoes from this skillet into the sausage gravy and turn that on low. So I have all those mixed in already. Mm-hmm. So then this would have all been mixed before I mixed it in with the eggs. But turn that down a little bit because everything's pretty much cooked.
Yep.
Now we're just trying to stir it up.
Here, I'll set it over here for you.
So, yeah, and then you just mix it up. So now, for me, what I'd be ready to do now is to load up and go to school. Mm-hmm. So, again, it's a precise amount of cheese that goes on top. And then, Henry, if you'd hand me that lid again. Mm-hmm. We'll let the cheese melt.
Now we just wait.
And it's history. The rest is history. Now we eat. So then the reason I went to a gravy mix is so now I could just keep it here. I wouldn't have to make the individual burritos.
Yeah.
I could just leave it in here and people could serve themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So that was where the gravy mix came in. Besides the eggs, cheese, sausage, hash browns were always part of it, but the gravy kind of allows us to just keep it warm in this skillet. Mm-hmm. So again, depending on how adept you are at folding a tortilla,
All right.
bon appetit.
You want one?
No, I'm
Okay.
good.
All
I'm
right.
good. Emma, would you like to come in and eat one? Sure. Yeah, come on. Okay, I just did the cooking. Go ahead. We have to train you on how to wrap a tortilla.
I think
You might
need
have
teach
to.
'em.
Good enough. Okay. Are you ready for our first bite?
It's gonna be hot.
Okay. Mmm. Mmm.
Yeah, it wasn't just a it was a mmm.
I got a little hot there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they're right out of the skillet.
Mm-hmm. But those are good. Did you even get any filling?
Yes, I got plenty.
All right, I think it's time to wrap it up.
Now, the bad part of this is damn cleanup.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Mr. Lamb, for coming in and teaching us.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everybody who watched. Thank you, Henry, for coming and being a co-host.
Yep.
You guys watch your email for your certifications.
Oh,
too,
yes,
'cause you're certified now.
Yeah.
So you might have to help Mr. Jones next year,
Okay.
just in case. Enjoy your breakfast burrito making at home.
Yeah.
Because this is an online class, you cannot be certified just by watching this burrito.